Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mike Lee. I am sitting here with a really awesome guy. Like, we've had great conversations. Dude is, I'm gonna say he's fucking dope. So I'm really excited to introduce my buddy, Matthew.
Appreciate it,
What's up,
man.
How you
Hey,
doing,
man.
dude?
Thanks for
coming out, man. Dude, this suit is crazy, bro. Dude, I felt this, like, I was like, dude, like, I don't want to get my oils on.
Well, you know where I got this suit
from,
man.
Where'd you get it from?
We go to the suit supply store over
Oh,
the
that's
road,
right.
man. You know all about that spot.
See?
You know about
this
that
guy's
spot.
all about suit supply. I love it. I love it.
It's a little inside joke between us because we both love that store.
Yeah.
And I actually dressed up thinking you were gonna roll in here like 3-piece suit,
dude. Nah,
pocket square,
dude. Like I was,
everything.
nah.
So,
I wanted,
now
dude.
I'm feeling a little
Nah. This is wanna know why I did this?
Okay, what's up?
Cause like this is you, bro.
All right.
Like I'm not gonna wear a suit and like you're here. I'm like, I want people to be like, hey yo, this is Matthew. This dude is it. This dude is it.
Thank you.
So sweet, man. So thanks for coming out today.
I'm excited to be on this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are sitting at the AdSemble office here in Campbell. Why don't you tell the people what is AdSemble?
Right. So we are a digital marketing advertising company. We specialize in billboard advertising. We have a self-service product called OpenDisplay.com where anybody can log in and launch their own digital billboard anywhere around the country.
Really?
Live in 54 markets, over 800 billboard screens, and we've kind of been the pioneers of championing that idea that anyone can log in, build a campaign, 100% self-service. It's really cool. It's never been done before.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about the traction we're getting, pretty excited about just the industry as a whole. It's an $8 billion industry. So there's just a lot of opportunity in there, and we're trying to be the guys that make it possible for everybody to do it.
Yeah. So anyone can have a billboard ad.
Anybody,
Really?
anywhere, nonprofit, big major company, any kind of small business. They just go to OpenDisplay.com. They create a free account, search for locations, and in the coming weeks, we're going to be launching a huge new product release that will let you actually define the budget that you want to put, and then based on a dollar amount that you put in, like a $20 daily budget, it'll automatically, our algorithm will flex your ad to the locations you chose as many times as it can get for the size budget you put in.
Right.
So just picture Los Angeles, Boston, Philly, you name it, anywhere you want to be, Chicago, the Bay Area. You log in, you decide how much you want to budget for your billboard ads, and then our system will do the rest.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So if I got $5 budget, you can work with that?
$5, well, that maybe, I mean, that won't get you much. You know, let's just say that.
The kind of screen you get this. There you go. All right, you're up there.
You can do it.
Hey, you're up there.
Yeah, in fairness, you can do it, but it'll be like really fast.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's the concept, right?
Right, yeah, that's awesome.
Small businesses.
Absolutely. Giving people like the opportunity to like showcase themselves. Because traditionally billboard ads are what, a couple $1,000s a month?
Many thousands of dollars. In fact, that was one of the eye-opening things when we started really diving into the business of working with people, is just to set somebody up on a 4-week campaign on a major highway could easily run you, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
So the number of small business owners that could just write a check for $20,000 is like none, zero,
minimal.
But the number of small business owners that are like, hey, if you give me the ability to put like maybe $500 or $1,000 in, I'm definitely willing to put my toe in the water to try that out.
Yeah.
And so ever since we've discovered that, we've been on kind of a crusade to figure that out. How can we make that happen? And so kind of started with the self-service product, kind of bringing all the locations together, and then working with the billboard companies to figure out what they're willing to take in terms of deals and money flow and things like that. And then going back to the drawing board with our engineers and saying, okay, so here guys, go to it. How do we make all this work? And so what's really exciting is I think in 2020 you are going to see just this massive wave of people that have never been in the space before feel more empowered to test it out, and then they'll see the power of it, and then that's just going to amplify their other channels, which is key. And Instagram, Facebook, all these things, you have to be on those things as well.
Right.
But the power of the out-of-home advertising is what that can really ignite an idea. That can really bring together people going, wow, look at that thing. It's huge. It's making a big, bold statement, right? you know, what is Manicore? And I go look that up, right?
Oh yeah. Oh wait, that's me.
And then they go online, they see Manicore's Mike Lee, and they learn more about your story and everything like that. And so it's kind of bridging everything together, right?
Yeah.
And so lowering those barriers to entry, letting people play in the space for $500. You know, $20 a day, $5 a day. That's gonna be a game changer. That's what we're really thinking optimistically about.
Incredible. So, where are you from?
Yep.
Like, where are you raised? Like, are you local from San Jose? Like, where are you from?
So born and raised right here in San Jose.
Okay, Bay Area.
Bay Area boy, Bay Area kid. My family is interesting. It's got kind of all over the place. I got relatives back east, LA, and of course, background from there is Italian descent, so all the family came over from the boot.
I can tell you really use your hands.
Yeah, use the hands a lot. Italian descent, but you know, my mom and dad met. Both went to San Jose State University.
Okay, go Spartans.
And go Spartans all the way. And then that's where I was born and raised. So right here in San Jose, and I love it. Love the Bay Area. And what was the second part of that question?
Like, where were you? How'd you? Forget. Who cares?
Yeah. So, I love. You know, I get to travel a lot for work, and I do love going out to Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, out there pretty regularly. Almost think of those places as a second home.
Yeah.
But the minute it gets too cold, the minute it gets too crowded, you know, whatever, I always feel myself like wanting to come back to the Bay Area. And you know, my favorite thing about Silicon Valley and San Jose and these parts, even up into SF, is just the diversity. Yeah. You know, I think it's like nowhere else have I ever traveled where you have an opportunity to just network and connect. Right. So many different people of different backgrounds and walks of life, and like what they're up to and things that they're passionate about. And I think that melting pot is where these amazing ideas are kind of born out of, because you just never know who you're going to sit down next to at a coffee lounge, you know, or hookah lounge. Right. And you just never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to talk to, and then ideas just kind of are born out of that. Yeah, and I love that. I really love that in the Valley.
Absolutely. So, man's been here his whole life. How did you come up with AdSemble? Like, so, like, tell me the background.
Really interesting story. So I was at San Jose State. I was a student at San Jose State, senior year.
Studying what?
Business management.
Okay, cool.
So I was already in a business mindset, which is cool, because I actually spent a little bit of time trying out different things like culinary arts, you know, different things I'm passionate about, acting, things of that nature, music.
I could see you as an actor.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
He has a face, right?
Appreciate that.
Actor face.
Hey,
I'll put pose real quick. So while we're on that, so is your left side your best side, or your right side your best side? What's your best side?
That's a great question. I think it's this. I think the new profile this way.
Yeah, whichever one, like, you have the most beard hair.
Wherever it's lined up, the best lined up, right? So I'm in school, senior trip. I go overseas during one summer to Japan. Okay. And in Japan and in Europe, had two different trips. Both places, I just see this abundance of digital ad inventory out and about. Right. Billboards, roadside signs, bus station signs, all these things, right? All digital, all electronic. And so when I get back, I'm going through my pictures, ironically enough, of all the places I traveled, and I keep seeing all these billboards in all the pictures and signs and stuff. Yeah. And I kind of started going like, man, there's a lot of like signage everywhere. There's a lot of out-of-home things. I didn't even know that's what it was called back then initially. And so I was out of sheer curiosity. I was like, if I was McDonald's, this is 100% true story. If I was McDonald's and I wanted to put 2 cheeseburgers, 99 cents on all these things, how easy, how fast could I go online and do that? Right. And when I started Googling who owned these things, I discovered that there was like separate entities owned and operated every single thing, even if the screens were in the same zip code, the same area. So you're literally making hundreds of phone calls and signing hundreds of contracts to do something that I felt should be like turnkey. Right. I felt it could be turnkey and it should be turnkey. And I was actually perplexed. Like, no one's thought of doing this yet? It's almost like one of those thoughts where you have where you're like, okay, for sure someone's thought about doing this. I just want to find the website where you do it. Right. But lo and behold, no one had done it. Wow. No one had done it. So that became like the initial foundation of the concept, was just like, all right, this is cool. Like, this is like an enigma. This is like a puzzle. I'm going to figure this out. Yeah. got some guys together. We started putting together a database and a website and all that stuff, and that was really the kind of the birth of the idea and the foundation of it. Yeah.
So you started this when you were in college?
Yeah, officially I had the idea when I was still in school, and we're just kind of putting together the business plan, stuff I was learning in the college business, right? The marketing plan, the go-to-market strategy, all those things.
Right.
When I actually physically graduated school, so I decided I would just, because I was already in my senior year, so it was like one of those things where I was just like, I might as well just get my diploma.
Right.
I'm already almost at the finish line. Let's just get that done. Once I graduated, then I took it as a full-time thing. Like, I want to run with this. Let's see if we can like really make something happen here.
Okay.
So I feel good about that decision. I know there's a lot of debate whether or not like school's even worth it. I know there's guys out there like Gary Vee and others who have said like school, it's college is a waste, this and that. Zuck dropped out of Harvard and all these. I personally feel that like that the cases for people like a Mark Zuckerberg is like 1 in a billion.
Yeah, they're like anomalies.
Right. Yeah. And so unless you have the ability to have an idea and you have the support, I think the other thing that's a little bit of a fallacy and almost comical to a degree is that in all these movies and documentaries, they make it seem like Zuckerberg just rolled out of bed at Harvard, had this idea, and then the next thing you know, it had like billions of users, and it's like whatever, right? What they don't show you is the support system behind the scenes that he had from his father, his mother, advisors, lawyers, CPAs. I mean, his family was already constructed to incubate his young mind to be able to do all that.
Right.
Oh, that's okay. You don't have to work for a whole summer. We'll take care of your bills. We'll get you food. We'll cover your rent.
Right.
Okay. An average kid, in the Bay Area, in Oakland, something like that, has an idea. Yeah. They probably don't have, most likely, that support system to be able to do that.
Right. Of course.
Okay. So I think that's a dangerous thing to tell a young person. Like, yeah, man, drop out of school if you have a business idea, if you have a startup idea. What's more impressive to me is that you started something and you finished it.
Right.
So if you started college, you saw it all the way through to the finish line.
Right.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And that's an indicator, most likely, of your ability to see something, your next project through, which could be your company idea.
Right.
Right? All the way through a successful exit, whatever that strategy is, whatever it ends up being.
Right.
So, long story short, I got my degree, and then I started working on AdSemble.
Awesome. So I got to ask, did you go down, real quick, like you said this says mugshot. I just want you to catch that.
Hold on.
Catch that, see that? Mugshot. Look at this guy. I have Mike's Brews, right? And I'm actually not drinking Mike's Brews.
I was gonna comment,
I'm drinking Blue Bottle.
You're missing a branding opportunity right here.
I'm just gonna write it on there.
I was gonna say you're missing a golden branding opportunity.
Mike's Brews.
Should you like put a circle and cross out the blue bottle?
Nah, I'm gonna say Blue Bottle sponsored by
Blue Bottle sponsored.
Mike's Brews. Sponsored by a Mike's Brews. Okay.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna put this way so y'all know I'm really out here.
All right, now
I was testing the competition. So we got some new products coming out.
Okay.
And so far my coffee is better.
Nice.
I'm coming for you.
So sales are up. Sales are going good.
Sales are
feedback, all that stuff.
Like, dude, after today,
Blue
Bottle charges $5. Crazy.
All right, now I actually have a little bit of a guilty admission to make to you.
All right, talk to me.
All right, so my first knowledge of you was because of the What Up Silicon Valley podcast.
Okay.
And I think I was their first guest on their podcast, and I think you came on maybe 2 or 3 episodes later. If I'm not mistaken. And you had brought up back then that Cold Brew was doing a plethora of marketing things, including billboards.
Right.
And I was listening to the episode, and they said, Matthew was just on a couple. He does AdSemble. Do you know about him? You're like, and you said something to the effect of, "Yeah, I know about him. We're coming to get them. We're coming to get them. We're coming to get him. We're gonna take him out." And I remember listening to that, going, Who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, who's this guy? I never heard of this guy before, right? It's like, but I got some competition. All right, I welcome competition, man. I'm down. So that was and then all this time later, we bumped into each other, and there's actually a great rapport and a great level of respect for what your hustle is and what you got going on, And you know, and so it's all good now. But initially I was just like,
You're like, damn, who's this guy?
I was like, oh, I got someone on the radar I gotta watch out for, man.
Hey,
this is Mike Lee.
Keep you on your toes. Your toes, baby. So,
a little fun little story.
Hey, but I will tell
you
you.
Know about that. That was good.
Oh shoot. But I will tell you now. We use AdSemble for all of our customers for any digital campaigns they're looking to do for billboards. I recommend.
And we got
all these people
feeding back to Manticore, right?
You know, so like it's a great working relationship. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. We recently sat down not too long ago. We're at Double Apple. That's like
Double Apples.
That's your little hookah spot. You know, we really just kind of like vibed and talked about, you know, like basically how our vision really aligns together with each other.
Yes.
How we really want to showcase the fact that it's possible for you to start your company. It's possible for you to be able to do all the things that you really want to do, and really like me and Matthew, we both really feel like we have the opportunity to help inspire people to really do more. So kind of jumping on that topic, actually I want to ask you a personal question.
Yep.
If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But when you first started your company, was it all you, like what's it called, bootstrapped, or did you get some help? Like how did that work?
Yeah,
because I know like some people here are always asking that question. Like when I start my company, do I have to go get an investor? Do I have to go? Do I have to have $50,000 in my account? Do I have to have whatever? Like, so how did you?
Yeah, well, that's a topic I love speaking on because our company was 100% bootstrapped.
Yeah.
So no, we didn't. I don't come from a Zuckerberg family background that had just gobs of money to fund my vision or anything like that. I had second and third jobs that I did. I worked as a waiter and a busboy at different Italian restaurants here in San Jose. I did construction jobs. I worked at a warehouse down by the airport, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, sandblasting computer parts to afford myself the working hour time frame of 9 to 5 to put a suit on and go talk to potential customers about what we were working on, right? And do all that. And that was my hustle. And the funny thing was like I didn't really have any other mindset about it. I didn't really think like, that we had an idea necessarily that was like immediately fundable from a venture capitalist, so to speak. Because everything that I had been told or shared by people that were already doing the entrepreneurial hustle was like, you need to have an established, board, you need to have customers, you need to have all these check boxes before VCs will even like pay attention to you. And so in my mind, it was just like, okay, well, if we're going to be building all that, then I guess I have to, go get second and third jobs just to support some free time to try to go get customers for this. And so I just want to debunk that fallacy more than anything. I just want to let entrepreneurs know you don't have to go raise a bunch of money.
Right.
If you have an idea, what you have to do is get paying customers.
Correct.
Okay?
I agree.
Because the real thing, the real story that you're telling investors, and this is the thing that I think a lot of young entrepreneurs miss, the real story that you're telling investors is, look, I've been able to do a certain amount of traction on my own without your help. If you give me your help, I will be able to exponentially grow that traction.
Right.
So like by myself, with no outside help, I've been able to get 10 customers that are giving me $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right? If you give me a $2 million investment, for these reasons, we'll be able to get 1,500 customers paying $10 million a month.
Right.
Right? And so an investor will look at that and be like, A, do I believe what you're telling me?
Right.
B, let me see the proof of the traction.
Right.
Let me see how you're doing all that, and then see how fast will that grow? Is it? And you always hear about that hockey stick growth, right? It's going to go from like 0 to. I mean, that's a lot of bullshit.
Right.
People know that. That's a lot of investor hype.
Right.
They every investor is going to say, if I give you $1, I want 100 back immediately.
Right.
That's everybody.
That's everybody.
Right?
Yeah,
but that's not
yeah.
realistic, right?
Correct.
They in the back of their mind, they already know that most likely it's not going to roll like that.
Right.
But that's why they hedge their bets by making like 10 different investments, hoping one of them pays off like that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's what's really happening is you are taking a glorified loan.
Right.
And I want to make that very crystal clear. If you're an entrepreneur and you go to Sand Hill Road or you go to any investors, it is a glorified loan. You are essentially borrowing money from someone or an entity or a group. Yes, you're getting their input. Yes, you're getting their advice. But don't sugarcoat it. Make no mistake about it. That person is expecting to get their money back and then some, and a lot more. And if what you're telling that investor is that you're going to hit certain milestones and you don't hit those milestones, now all of a sudden you got to watch your back, because that investor will look to replace you because they're trying to watch out for their money. Right? And so that's the other thing is young entrepreneurs rush to go get an investor or investor group, and they don't think that all the way through. And then when things start to, I've seen it happen a million times. When things start to go south, all of a sudden now they got all these people calling them up going, well, maybe you're not the right guy or girl to run this organization because you're not hitting those milestones that you told us you would hit. So I don't want to paint like a bleak picture about all that, because there could be positive outcomes that come with bringing on investors and stuff like that. But I think investors do a really good job because they're older. Usually they're older people, I think they do a really good job of coming out to entrepreneur events and painting a rosy picture, so to speak, to young people that like it's just all about like getting that money and this and that. And they kind of gloss over the fact that now they own a piece of what you're doing. And they own a piece of you, essentially. Right? And so you want to be very careful about how you present what you're doing, and you want to I would personally recommend that you maybe very carefully articulate what those milestones are going to be that you are expecting to hit. Maybe even what's the saying, under promise, over deliver. Right? So if you're like a subscription based service, okay, well, by myself I got 100 subs. If you invest in me, I think we can get 10,000 subs, but by the end of year one, I'm expecting us to only have like 1,500. Now internally, inside your own self, that number, 1,500, should probably be much lower than what you really think you're going to get. Why? Because then when you get to the end of December, you can surprise everyone and be like, hey, remember when I told you I thought we were going to have 1,500? We actually have 2,950. Then everyone's going to get super excited, like, wow, like you guys are killing it, right? You don't want to go the opposite way where you're like, yeah, I'm going to have 3,000 by the end of year one. And it's like, oh, I only have 500. Then everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, how did you do that? How were you so, I mean, if you watch the stock market show every single morning, that is literally how every single conversation is about. This stock is up, this stock is down, because this company's executive team or the CEO, overshot estimates, underestimated. Netflix just took a massive hit yesterday or 2 days ago when they announced their fourth quarter earnings because their subs were much lower than they thought they were going to be. Okay? And so that's what you have. You just have this ongoing like up or down evaluation process. And so as a CEO, as a leader, you want to study your financials, you want to know your position, you want to know your cost of goods sold, you want to know your marketing expenditures, you want to know all that stuff so you can privately make good estimates that are probably maybe a little bit less than what you actually think you're going to hit. Not by much, but just enough where you're kind of constantly bringing something exciting to the table, right? And that would be my overall kind of thought on that process.
Sweet, I love that. So me and you are very similar. Like my whole company is bootstrapped. Didn't take on any investment. So I feel like me and you were like in the beginning it was kind of like, damn, who is this guy? But I'm glad it worked out that we're able to be like, hey, dude, let's sit down in the room and have a conversation about what's really going on. And so let's kind of draw this conversation over. Like, what is it that if you were a young entrepreneur just out of college, 21, 22, what was something that you would tell yourself?
The number one thing that I've realized in the last 10 years of doing this business is you have to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing, okay? Your reason why, as I've learned personally, cannot just be because I want to make a bunch of money. Right? And I love how literally the word money, or another word for money, is currency. Because it carries a charge with it, positive or negative. And what I mean by that is, if you're out there doing a lot of bad stuff in the world, like there are people in parts of the world that do bad stuff and hurt people, right? If you give that person a bunch of money, they can do more bad stuff with it. If you're Mother Teresa and you're doing a lot of good in the world and you give Mother Teresa a lot of money, she can do even more good stuff with it.
Right.
So it carries with it either a positive or negative charge based on the person that's wielding it,
Right.
like a tool.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, but then that goes back to why do you need to get the money, you see? So Mother Teresa's cause is radically different than the person out there who's like a terrorist or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so what I've learned over these many years of doing this now is young entrepreneurs who have an idea for a company, they need to couple that idea with their burning desire for why they must have success.
Right.
Right? And I've met a lot of young entrepreneurs. I did an awesome kind of little, I call it like a little mini TED Talk to young high school entrepreneurs last year. It's on my YouTube channel. Matthew Olivieri.
We'll put it
the link
in
in
the
there.
bottom.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. It'll go over here somewhere.
Appreciate that. And it's an invaluable talk. Just the way that the words came out of me. I don't really script. I have loose guidelines when I do these talks.
Right,
I'm
of course,
sure you
of course,
do
of
as
course.
well.
Yeah.
But really, when I just get into the moment, the words just kind of flow, how it connects and how it comes out. And that talk to those young students who are like entrepreneurs trying to build companies just really resonated. It really came across. I was getting tons of positive feedback afterwards. Like they were going like, wow, that was so awesome. Thank you so much. The root of it, the nucleus of that presentation was, what is your why statement?
Right.
There's a very famous TED Talk by Simon Sinek that talks about finding your why. So my concepts and my presentation kind of borrowed some points from that. So I totally give him credit because that was a great talk that he did.
Right.
But I think you can even go deeper, right, and really spell it out. I think everybody should have it written down because when you write something down, it really comes to life.
Right.
And so, some people's why is, I'm a kid with a single mom or single dad, and they're working 5 jobs to live in the Bay Area.
Right.
And so I must have success. My why is I must have success to help support my mom or help support my dad or help support my family, right? Another person's why could just be like, this is what I feel like I was born to do. Right? I was born to figure out billboards. That's one thing I kind of mused with you that night that we got together was I wasn't born into this world as a little kid going, I want to grow up and be like a guy that figures out billboards. Right? This was just a very interesting like Rubik's Cube that I wanted to solve. And I'm still like on the mission of solving. And once I get to a certain point with it, with our whole team and everything else, the proper exit strategy will present itself. Right? My bigger reason why is that I aspire to have enough resources to go into the world and help people where help is needed. Could be let's say right now in Australia there's all those fires. Several years ago there's a lot of fires right here in the Bay Area. Schools get burned down, churches get burned down, like people are hurting. I want my nonprofit organization to be able to have the resources, just go into a place like that and just be like, that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Start construction. Like no bureaucracy, no waiting for, this group or that group to sign off on something. Boom. It's privately funded. We're just going to rebuild that school.
Yeah.
We're just going to put these people in a house so that they have shelter.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Like also a big personal reason for my why is helping people figure out their whys, right? Inspiring people, building them up, showing them how they can figure out what their purpose is. That's a huge cause for what I do every single day and how I put myself out there. So, that's my why statement is all of that. But a lot of people don't even take the time to sit and think about that.
Yeah, like what is something that you see when you're like, if someone came to you today, was like, I want to figure out what my why is. Like, what's something you would tell them? Like, I don't know, like, I wake up every day, like, I don't feel like I have purpose. Like, how do you help somebody find their why? How would you help them?
That's an awesome question. And what I've discovered in having lots of these conversations since I've kind of been on this mission to kind of do this with people, is that what I've discovered is it's not necessarily people love the instant gratification.
Right.
They wanna walk into a room and like, what is my purpose for existence? And then they meet me or they listen to Simon Sinek or they go, okay, I got it in like 5 seconds. Right. I can go on with my life now. I'm gonna go watch some TV or something like that, right? It doesn't happen like that. I actually feel that every person's why is gonna be derived from the experiences that they have in life.
I agree, yeah.
Case in point, 2 individuals.
Okay.
One completely sheltered their entire life. Everything provided for them. Spoon-fed, all financial things taken care of, no legal problems, huge support system, no problems in the world.
Right.
Person B grows up right down the street in a broken home, has to immediately start working when they're 5 years old to help support their family, support the household, okay? Maybe gets bullied at school,
right.
has some experiences in that, stands up to the bullies, has some experiences in that, you see? The same, when those 2 people get to age 10, 20, 30, their lives are going to be radically different based on those experiences that they each had, all right? And also, through those experiences, those individuals are going to maybe, ideally, if you were to say, how would you help them find their why? Choose what they can give back to the world because of those experiences, okay? Now, let me use person B. Let me use 2 B1, B2.
Right.
Both grow up in broken homes, both grow up in the ghetto, both grow up having to support their family, blah, blah, blah. One of them goes the path of saying, I want the shortcut life. I'm going to start stealing. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing shady stuff.
Right.
The other person goes, man, I got dealt a shitty hand, but I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get myself out of this.
Right.
You see? So even within that silo, you have people going different paths.
Right.
Now, the guy that went the path or the girl that went the path of like working hard and doing it the right way, their why could be, I'm going to teach other kids in ghettos around the country about the benefits of going the right way.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Because you don't have to go a bad way to get out of this situation.
Of course, yeah.
The guy that went, or the girl that went south and did stuff probably ended up in jail anyways, but let's say they didn't. Maybe they, and I don't even know, see, that's the oddity of this. They wouldn't even necessarily have a reason to do this.
Right.
But let's say they got inspired one day. I'm going to show other people how living a bad life and stealing can get you out of the place you're in. It doesn't even make sense to say that, right? But my point is like your experiences.
Right.
So what I want to get back to is your experiences drive that. So there is no simple, short, hey, nice to meet you, man. This is your why statement. Right. This is your reason for existence. Right. It almost becomes like an ongoing dialogue where it's like, all right, you know, I'm 25 years old, 30 years old, just graduated school, 21. You know, based on my experiences, I think my purpose for existence is this. Right. And that's what it could be in that day and time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right. 10 years down the road, you got married, you had a couple kids, you got a divorce, you lost your job, you're in a whole new, maybe you have a whole different thing, and you're like, you know what? Now I'm 30, now I'm 35, now I'm 40. Now my purpose is actually this. Right.
So you believe purpose can change?
100%.
So
100%.
So on the same topic of purpose changing, going back to the whole like going left field, right?
Yep.
Look at people just like Jay-Z, for example.
Yep.
Jay-Z is a big example of, hey, he grew up in the hood, started selling dope on the corner. Right. And he was able to turn that back into a positive, becoming, you know, one of the wealthiest rappers out there. Yep. So I feel like at any point in time, like you said, you can turn yourself around. Yeah. Right? Like you can change. You can if you look at a lot of the entertainers or rappers, if you look at like what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. Right. He used to
great example.
Yeah, he used to be on drugs.
Right.
He was on his way.
Did they catch him like running someone buck naked in someone's yard?
Yeah, and then he was actually like
I remember reading about that.
On like trial.
Wow.
You know, like
wow.
And
yep.
He turned his whole life around.
Oh my God!
Became like one of my favorite actors. You know,
mine as well. Is he the highest paid, or is The Rock still the highest paid?
Dwayne The Rock. I believe Dwayne The Rock Johnson's the highest paid right now.
RDJ's got to be
he's got to be up there,
like a close second or third. I mean, he's in the top 10 without a doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you look at that, like people can go left.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you go through some sort of experience or you go through something, then it's like, damn, like I really need to change my life around. Yeah. And then you can come back on track.
You can. You can always change your path. You can always change your destiny. You can always change, your outcome for what you stand for what you're about. Yeah. Like that's the best part about like living in America, right? And a cliche thing to say, you can do anything you want to be, you can do anything you want to do. No one's gonna stop it. The point is just be about something. Right. Be about something. I thought about this, right? So oddly enough, I was literally just reviewing my own personal why statement not too long ago, and I was just thinking about the different people in history of the world, right?
I'll give you like three perfect examples. So you got let's see, Neil Armstrong.
Okay.
All right. John F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
Al Capone.
Okay.
Three completely different paths there, right? Three completely different people who are real life people who had different missions, different reasons for existence,
Right.
different charges in their life of like why they were doing what they were doing, right? I don't know if any one of them aspired to inspire other people to follow their path per se, but what made them unique and memorable is that they just went hard in life at the thing that they wanted to go after.
Right.
And to your point, if you're going hard, if you're a young entrepreneur, if you're watching this and you're thinking you want to build a company or you have this idea and it doesn't pan out quite the way you thought, you have the right to pivot and go and do something completely different. And those experiences can help develop that why statement, that ultimate reason. The number one thing is just be conscious to it.
Right.
Be conscious to what it is that there's awesome people in the room right now filming this.
Yeah.
Right? And they're experts in photography and videography and mixing boards and things like that, right? Yourself, myself, entrepreneurs, we have a purpose, we have a mission for like why we love helping customers out, why we love seeing projects come to life and the finished product. I just got literally just got back photo proof of a big campaign we're doing for a client right now, and it looks gorgeous. It's like, it's so awesome to see that come to life, knowing that customer of ours was just, they had an idea for something, and then we worked with them and we developed the idea, and now boom, here it is, it's in real life, it's happening, it's out there. I'm like, damn, that's awesome, right? So be conscious to what it is, be constantly writing it down, be constantly looking at your timeline.
Right.
And I always like to share with people, if you it's a little bit macabre, but on a random day, for real, everyone in this room, go walk in a cemetery. Go take a lunch break and just go hang out in a cemetery for an hour long and just walk around and look at the different tombstones at the start date and the end date of all these random people that you don't know, right? Every single one of them had a certain amount of time on planet Earth.
Right.
What did they do with that time?
Right.
Right? What did they do in their time on planet Earth? And then that should help you be like, what am I doing with my time?
Right.
Because I know what my start date is.
Right. But you don't know your end date.
You don't know your end date yet. None of us do.
Yeah.
But what are you doing with that little dash in between?
Right. Wow, I love that.
Right?
Quote. Quote.
Right? What are you doing with that dash in between? That's what matters. That's what counts. So when it hits you front and center like that, and you're staring at all these tombstones, whoo, that shakes me up, man.
Yeah.
I start wanting to run a million miles an hour because I'm like, I don't know what that end date's gonna be, but I got
so
that
I gotta
dash.
keep
I'm in
working
that
while I'm
dash
in it.
right now.
Yeah.
What can I do with that dash?
I'm in
right?
that dash.
I'm in that dash.
Wow, that's so powerful. A lot of things that people ask about, it's what do you do in the morning that gets you going? Like what's like your morning mantra when you get up? Like what is it that you do? Because everyone feels as though like you see all this stuff on the internet where it's like, oh yeah, so you got to wake up at 5 a.m., you go to bed late, wake up early to get yourself going, like all this stuff. So what's your thing?
Well, so my thing is I have a couple of routine things that I do every morning. It's like a mental checkbox, and I've been doing them for so many years. One is I have to make my bed. Yeah. I have to make my bed every single morning. I don't care what time I've woken up, what time it is. I have to make my bed. And my reasoning behind that is maybe a little bit comical, but I feel like if I get nothing else right today, at least I got my bed made. Right? So I got a little victory. I got a little win right there to start the day. So I got to make my bed. There's a shower, obviously, and then I take a multivitamin every. It's little silly little things like that, but I do them in a very regimented, disciplined order. And I think that's the key, is the disciplined, regimented, repeatable thing.
So you're like a cold shower guy?
Warm shower.
Okay, cool.
Warm shower,
me too. I know some people that
unless it was like a long night the night before from a little bit too much networking with Mike. Then I might get a splash of cold.
You're like, no, I gotta get up.
Right. Yeah. And then I love to tune into CNBC, the morning stock market show. you and I are obviously out here on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So the thing that really gets my engine going is if it's 6 o'clock for us out here, or 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. for us out here, someone on the East Coast, it's already 9 o'clock. They've probably already had their breakfast. They've probably already sent out a dozen emails. They've probably already made 2 dozen phone calls. So I always look at it like somebody else out there is ahead of me, and I'm in a race with that individual. And if they're on the East Coast, they already got a 3-hour jump on me.
Right.
And that's the number one reason why when I do go to New York for work and stuff like that, I really do love my time out there, because calling back here to HQ, I'm like, what are you guys still sleeping? What are you doing? Right?
I'm about making money.
Yeah. I've already been up. I've already had my breakfast. I've already, and I love that. So that's a huge motivator for me. So I like jumping up, getting it going, because I'm like, man, someone else has already got the jump on me, man. East Coast, they're already 3 hours ahead. Midwest, they're 2 hours ahead. Like, let's get it going. And that really drives me.
What about books? Like, are you reading any books right now? Like, what are you reading right now? What's your number one book?
Oh man, well right now I do a lot of audiobooks.
Okay, so what's your number one book?
Okay.
And your number one audiobook, and what are you listening to right now?
Yeah. So what I'm in right now is pretty well known author. A lot of entrepreneurs like this guy. Talk about him quite a bit. I know this book came out a while ago, but I'm just getting into it now. I really enjoyed it. It's Leadership by Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey, okay.
And he's CEO of a company. I think they're in the Midwest, somewhere thereabouts. It's a financial company. He really wants to help people. His why statement is really helping people get financially free.
Right.
Getting out of the burden of debt. Great cause, right? That holds a lot of people back. And Leadership is a book he wrote specifically for entrepreneurs, teaching them about how you can be an entrepreneur, but you can be a leader. Right? And so he merged those two words. I think he coined it or trademarked it, right? Leadership. And so it's this methodology of like kind of looking at the whole scope. Because some people, I've come across some entrepreneurs, and they did raise a bunch of money right out of the gate with a half-baked idea.
Yeah.
And of course, as another entrepreneur, that makes you a little bit upset. Like, I know my company is like a lot further ahead than theirs. How the hell did they raise $5 million? To me, with nothing.
Right.
And I've seen people like that, and it goes right to their head, and they start walking around, doing the whole Conor McGregor
walk.
The whole Conor McGregor walk. Like, look at me, I'm a badass, this and that. And then 6 months later, their company like implodes.
Right.
And it's not even there anymore.
No.
And so, anyways, how you carry yourself is a lot, and how you can lead in a startup environment is what that book, Leadership, is about. Highly recommend it.
Cool.
He's got a really cool way about how he presents the information, a lot of data points, a lot of case studies of companies where it worked, where it didn't, where people that didn't follow these methodologies, where they failed.
Yeah.
So you just get like a lot of good data points on it.
We'll put a link to all the books in the description so you can read them. What else? So you said Leadership.
Leadership, and then I love Gary Vee stuff.
Okay.
Right. So recently finished Jab, 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 Right Hook.
Okay.
And then his other book, The Thank You Economy.
Okay.
So I mean, he's got a lot of really good things to say for marketing. And a lot of our business now that we have an established business, an established brand. It really does come down to the marketing and getting our name out there to get leads in for our sales team to have great opportunities to connect with people and close sales, right? And build the business. So I've lately really been on this whole I got to level up my marketing, right? And so mad props to yourself for your Instagram stories. If you're not following Mike Lee on Instagram, well, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to say.
Hey, man.
But no, his stories your stories are like raw, rugged, uncut, fun, silly. I love them, man. So just being a student of the game is huge for me, and I like what Gary Vee puts down on a lot of his stuff. Yeah. Not everything, some things kind of a little different methodology. What we talked about school and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't share his opinion about that, but on marketing stuff, I mean, the dude's on point. Yeah. So it's good stuff.
Cool. Well, let's cut some fun stuff, man.
All right. Let me loosen up the tie.
Yeah, loosen up the tie, man. Unbutton the top one.
Dang. Okay, now we're in fun mode.
Now we're in fun mode. So, what do you like to do for fun? Like, what is the Matthew I have a weekend off. Like, where
Right.
am I going?
All right. So Matthew Olivieri in Fun Mode is definitely comedy clubs.
Okay. Who's your
Love-
favorite comedian?
Oh man,
Okay.
tough right now, man.
Top 3.
Oof. Craig Robinson's on that list.
Okay.
New
New and old. That's cool.
and old school. Anybody and everywhere. I mean, I'm an old. He's got. I mean, some people might say he's old school. I like Jerry Seinfeld still.
Okay. Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David. I mean, their sarcastic type of humor.
Yeah.
It's just really gets me going. I just love it. I just think it's hilarious. I don't know how they come up with the stuff they come up with. But yeah, Kevin Hart. I mean, I just recently saw a guy. He was on America's Got Talent, and he finished 3rd just last season. Man, his name's escaping me right now. I'll find it. We'll put it in the notes.
We'll look it up right now.
Yeah, he was, and he has Tourette's. He has Tourette's syndrome, and he finished 3rd or 2nd. He lost to the guy, the magician, on this last season. Anyways, his comedy was super on point. I think that guy is going to be someone that's going to be up and coming. Look up America's Got Talent, Tourette's syndrome, comedy, something like that. It'll probably pop up.
Okay.
Yes, I think that is him.
Ryan-
Name Miller.
Name Miller?
He was at the Sounds of the Improv. It was really good. It was really, really funny. But I like comedy clubs. I like regular clubs, man. I love going to the bars, going to dancing, live music, jazz, hip hop, anything like that, and then also fitness. I love working out. So
yeah, I can tell, man. When I grabbed that seat, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Get my swole on.
I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, just outdoor anything, man. Running, boxing, weightlifting. I mean, anything that just gets the heart pumping.
Okay.
It's when you sit in front of a computer all day long, it's the perfect change of pace to just get the blood going, to get the heart pumping, and just get out there.
Yeah.
You know, especially run. I love running outside because you get the fresh air in your lungs.
Yeah.
And every time I tell myself, I don't want to go to the gym, I'm exhausted. Every time I tell myself that, when I get out of the gym, I go, that's the greatest feeling ever, man. I don't know why I second guess myself right there. And it actually like gets the endorphins going, and I feel like my brain like gets like new fresh ideas.
Yeah.
So that big thing for entrepreneurs. If all you do is just camp out behind the computer all day long nonstop, like highly recommend that you throw some sort of activity in the mix. And even
get up and go.
Some bowling, something.
Some daily activity.
Yeah, yoga, stretch it out.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Are you a yoga guy? Are you a yogi?
Nah,
You're not a yogi?
I'm not a yogi bear. Can't do it.
Yoga's a great place to meet people, man. It's peaceful, it's quiet.
Sure it is.
Yeah,
I'm a city boy, man. Like I got to be out and about.
Okay, all right.
Like yoga's too slow.
So when you work out, are you in the gym,
I'm in
or
the gym.
are you like Muscle Beach, LA, doing it like out on the beach in front of everyone?
It's so crazy. I was in LA in November.
What's that place called that does all the weightlifting outside?
Muscle Beach.
Oh, it's Muscle Beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on
Santa Monica Pier?
Do you know? You can talk. Is it?
Venice
Beach.
Beach.
Venice Beach. Yeah. Venice Beach. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. He's out there.
Yeah, he knows. Like, look at him, bro. Like, I wish I could turn the camera. You can see this guy. This guy's swole. But yeah, Venice Beach. I went out there with my boy for his bachelor party.
Okay.
One of my buddies, shout out to Nerd with Abs, Jarrell Parker. Dude walks out on the beach, takes his shirt off. He goes, "I'm ready, guys." And I was like, really? Was that necessary, bro? Like he goes, "Hey Mike, come out here with me, bro. Take your shirt off." I was like, "Nah, bro. Like you see how big these dudes are?" Yeah, I'm out here. I went out there. I tried doing the thing. I was like, "Y'all know I really get it.
Yeah,
I really get it."
Right,
you know?
right.
So my boy Jamal, he calls me a sleeper because like I'll come out the gutter. You guys are like,
okay,
dang, Mike puts up weight. Yes.
All right. Okay.
So I tell people when you work out, like you can look like you're big, but like it's really all about how much heart you got. Like it's all about that. You know, like back in the day, I was throwing up like 275 on the bench press. You know,
really?
I was on my way up to like 315, and I was like,
wow.
And then I ended up cracking my sternum and like messed up. So I was taken out for a couple months, but dude, I was putting up weight, and dudes were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, bro." I was like, It's all here. It's like all heart. Like it's all heart.
It is. And if you got the right, and if you have the right like form.
Yeah.
If you got the right form.
Yeah.
The body will react.
It isn't all about the gains. It's
but
like
when you
really gotta have heart.
When you see the guys that are walking through 24-hour finish line, and you see them like,
arched over and they're doing
Oh,
it all
nah,
bad form.
nah. Well, some of
Does
those
that
guys
ever
are-
compel you just to walk up and be like, bro,
bro,
that's
do your
not-
thing. That's you. That's you, bro. Like, do your thing. Hey, man, you want me to spot you? All right, cool, great. Like, because like when I'm at the gym, I know people like in their mode,
Yep.
and like if you ask me for advice, I'll give it to you. I'm not gonna walk into the hey
Okay.
man, you need to fix your stuff.
Right,
Like,
right.
You know, man.
Yeah, gym's important, man.
Gym's
I love-
important.
I love a healthy lifestyle.
All right, so
Yes.
so I was on your podcast 2-3 weeks ago.
Yep, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
You hit me with the speed round.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna hit you back with the speed
Oh,
round.
man, here we go.
Okay.
Set
Hope you're
myself
ready.
up
Okay,
for that.
G is getting his camera out.
Yeah, set myself up for that.
So I'm about to hit him on the speed round.
You were the first one we ever ran the speed round with.
You're the
too.
first one I'm running the speed round with. So I'm making this up on the spot, so it's about
Okay.
to be crazy.
Okay.
So Kendrick
focused.
Lamar or Drake?
Drizzy.
Drizzy? Dang. Okay. Would you rather be at a poppin' nightclub or like a low key like live band?
Poppin' nightclub.
Poppin' nightclub.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right alongside you.
Oh,
Cause,
dude.
yeah, because you'd be up in there. I know you.
Catch me out the nightclub, baby. We have a great time.
Yeah.
Um,
we bumped into each
Dude,
other.
yeah,
like,
literally,
already.
yeah. We actually did. That's how we like started talking again.
It is,
That was
it is.
crazy. I was like, "Hey, man, we're
It
going out.
is.
Hey, want
It
to come out
is.
with me?" Like,
It is.
yeah, you had a great time, right?
Yeah, great. It's awesome.
I'm a man of
It's
experiences.
awesome. And you know what it is? Just real fast. It's the energy.
Yeah,
It's the energy. Okay, so if I'm in a low key vibe and I've had a long day and I just want to chill, then find a coffee house or something with some jazz, something like that. That works. But if I'm going out on a Friday night, Saturday night, I want that energy
yeah,
of the bass, of
Yeah.
the music hitting, and the people, and
Yeah.
the people, and, people putting effort into their look, and being out there having fun. Like that's what I love.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
So, San Diego or New York,
Oh, what time of year?
dude. Okay, so New York in like April, San Diego in June.
Oh, flipped it up on me.
Yeah,
All right.
because those are both two great times to be in those cities.
I know. I'll go San Diego in June.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
man. Del Coronado.
Oh,
Seeing the jets fly over the Air Force Base right there. It's an awesome
man.
sight.
Old man, dude. I would have said Gaslamp. Gaslamp, San Diego.
Yeah, Gaslamp stuff too.
was-
That was a good one.
See, man,
That was a good one.
crazy time. Okay, so last one, and answer wisely. Mike's Brews or Starbucks?
Mike's Brews. Mike's Brews all the way.
All the way.
Especially with the promo code AdSemble.
AdSemble. You can get your Mike's Brews 10% off
Yeah.
if you watch this video.
There you go.
We're actually launching K-Cups. I'm gonna bring
Oh,
some to
really?
your office.
All right.
Because
We love those.
he's gonna have a full stack K-Cup of Mike's Brews.
Damn.
Because the coffee he's drinking now should be Mike's Brews.
And where do you source your beans from again?
I can't tell you that.
Oh.
We got some
Sorry about
proprietary
that,
blends
everyone.
coming.
Sorry about
Nah,
that.
I'm just kidding. We got an Ethiopia blend that's coming. We have a blend that's straight from India. We got
Wow.
yeah. This
Nice.
is awesome. Like
Okay.
no aftertaste.
Okay.
It's crazy.
All right.
Got a Colombian. Like we're really out here.
I love
So
it.
yeah, man. So
love
thanks for like taking the time out to sit down with me and
love it, dude.
have a conversation and
I
help
really do.
inspire some people.
Really do.
Really
want the link we'll put in there. I just
Yeah.
really hope everyone can obviously hopefully if you're interested, subscribe to the YouTube channel that I got, and we put a lot of content out there, but specifically that why statement video that I
Yeah.
got rolling.
Yeah.
I really want a lot of people to go watch that
Yeah.
because I think the information is critical to help people out.
Yeah,
That's what it's all
absolutely.
about.
Hey guys, so it's Mike Lee. We out here and
Matthew Olivieri.
peace.
Peace.
Sweet. Dunzo. I love it.
Great, man.